Leeds United's inaugural cup winners. Chris Economides wins the cup for Melbourne victory. Sydney FC then win the cup.
And MacArthur, for the second time, are Australia Cup winners.
The round of 32 continues in the Hahn Australia Cup, and it is one of the mainstays, Heidelberg United, that welcome first-timers the Weston Bears. It's Victoria against Northern New South Wales. And don't be too deceived by a bit of pre-game rain. It may be chilly, but conditions are certainly good for football at Olympic Village, a venue that has seen so many big names and big ties over the years. Heidelberg once toppled Perth Glory at this very ground. They also welcomed Aaron Moy's Melbourne City famously in front of a 5-figure crowd. It's a little bit more modest tonight, but we're hoping to see an entertaining match between these two teams. Let's go to Heidelberg United. They've pulled a few selection surprises, rotating 4 times from the team that played at the weekend in NPL Victoria, including Chock Dow and Jay McGowan. A couple of their backup attackers are starting tonight. They have moved the league's top scorer, Bull Juach, to the bench, and also the on loan from Central Coast, Sabit Nyor, who played such a key role in Heidelberg United toppling A-League opposition in the Cup last year. Let's take a look at the Weston Bears. They've also made a host of changes from the team that was successful against Adamstown Rosebud at the weekend. Burston, Hatfield, Blake Archibald and Cooper Buswell all into the starters, and it means that they are going full strength for this one. Will they be able to pull off an upset under their Dutch coach, well known to the Newcastle community, Q Yarlians? There are the teams in the tunnel. Olympic Village has had Heidelberg in the Cup on 7 occasions with tonight's match, and on 4 of those they have gone all the way to the quarter-final. And they'll be hoping to tick off some big names along the way. It's the second time that a Northern New South Wales opponent has made its way to the Village. Charlestown Atsuri beaten 2-1 back in 2018. One of those occasions that Heidelberg did get to the quarterfinals at Charlestown's expense. Heidelberg are going to be in their home yellow kit tonight with the black shorts. And the Weston Bears, what a night for them. They went on a really special cup run to get to the round of 32. Can they chalk up a rare win for Northern New South Wales football on this national stage? Great to see the mascots coming out and enjoying the occasion. We've got one youngster there holding Weston's pennant as well, which is fantastic to see on this historic occasion. So there are your competing teams. Heidelberg United sit top of NPL Victoria by 5 points. They are not one of the teams that has bought a permanent spot in the Australian Championship, but they are on course to qualify as the inaugural team to do so. Weston sit third in Northern New South Wales NPL. They have a couple of games in hand, but they have fallen off the pace of the top pair in the league. So qualifying for the Australian Championship may not be on the cards for them, but a cup run would be most welcome. We've already had one Victorian team punch their ticket to the round of 16. That was Avondale at the expense of Stirling Macedonia last night. How Heidelberg would love to join them. Here's our officiating crew for the evening. Jock Quartermain is one of the rising stars of refereeing in the country. His assistants tonight are Benjamin Lepileo and Jordan English, and the fourth official is well known to the A-League, Lockie Keevers. Heidelberg posing for their team photo, and it gives me the chance to welcome to tonight's broadcast Roy O'Donovan. Roy, Weston Bears, a team you know well from playing against them as someone who is still actively playing in the Northern New South Wales NPL.
Yeah, well, active is a big word, Theo, but yeah, Weston, they will certainly be in the competition tonight to give Heidelberg a shock, no doubt. Heidelberg are the favourites, but the way that Weston go about their business, they could surprise quite a few people tonight. Being on this stage is obviously very exciting. A lot of teams hope for an away trip, and Weston, maybe a bonding experience, a galvanising experience. They've got a few games that they have to play as catch-up games in the NPL as well, so it comes at a time where they're going to be very busy as a squad, just trying to play a lot of football. Yeah, they've had a lot of rearranged fixtures because of the bad weather. We had in Newcastle the last couple of months, and all the games are on grass up there, so it's had a little bit of an impact on their league form. But look, that goes out the window tonight in this cup game, and a game against a club the stature of Heidelberg, that'll get the juices flowing, that's for sure.
Can they have a bit of an element of surprise? Of course, it's a lot harder to keep secrets these days. Every game is streamed. You can go and check out the archive of matches that teams have played through the course of the year. How would you describe Weston as a team in terms of the characteristics, regardless of how they might switch it up tonight? What typically do you normally expect when you play against the Weston Bears?
Well, they're a passing team. Look, you can see by looking at them, they're not the biggest, most physical team. They try and play through the lines. They try and switch the ball from side to side, and they try and make the opposition run around. If they can get their game going tonight, Heidelberg will have to run a lot and will have to be on their game from a pressing and a defensive perspective. But it's a big if. Can they get their game going? They've been scoring a lot of goals in the Northern New South Wales Premier League. This is a different test tonight.
Well, it's a Heidelberg team that has mixed it up. The likes of Peter Klassen here about to take kickoff, and also Jay McGowan and Choc Dow are not regular starters for the Burgers on this run to the top of the league that they've been on. Top scorer in all of NPL Victoria, Bull Juach, and his 17 league goals are currently seated on the bench. Will it make a difference as we kick off? Early throw-in to be taken by Anthony Theodoropoulos was part of Heidelberg United's cup run a couple of years ago. Straight away, the home side establishing possession, establishing a bit of control of the game. Choc Dow happy to knock it around here. You can see how high up the pitch Heidelberg's defenders have set themselves. The centre-back pairing of Ryan Lethlean, who briefly spent some time at the Brisbane Roar. He was a Melbourne Victory youth before the Roar signed him. And look how far out the keeper, Yaron Souza, the former Mariner, has come here in Johnny Anastasiadis' team. They're just waiting for a gap to open here. Mohamed Aidara. And now he plays it over to Ben Collins. Spent plenty of time on the books of Weston United before coming back into the NPL, and he has proven himself to be a key part of Heidelberg United this campaign. At the edge of the box, Klassen made a presence, and there's a tentative volley from Asahi Yokokawa. There's the gaffer, John Anastasiadis, of course, NSL era hero of South Melbourne, scored in an NSL Grand Final and has established himself as an Australia Cup regular, whether he's been in the dugout of the Bentley Greens or now Heidelberg United. He's almost a permanent fixture at this time of the year. An errant clearance, Jay McGowan, a loose touch, and that allows Weston to clear their lines. They won't want to invite pressure on like that too many more times.
No, they won't. And Heidelberg, in fairness, you would expect it as well. They're trying to flex their muscle here early. As you said, the two centre-halves are stepping into midfield. The strikers are playing high, and they're trying to force the, force a lot of questions from Weston. But so far, Weston are holding firm. They haven't touched the ball yet, I don't think, in the first 2 minutes.
So here is Lethlean. Passing avenue is closed down on this occasion. Flick header just bounces past the on-rushing Choc Dow. Is this Weston's chance to win a foul? Klassen with physicality. And the decision goes against the Bears here. And so play is quickly restarted. Collins over to the right flank. Jay McGowan lifts it across. A headed clearance. And the whistle's gone regardless. I think a handball there against Anthony Theodoropoulos, allowing Weston to clear their lines. There is Q Yallians, the Dutchman who's spent time as a TD, as a youth coach, and now a head coach at the Weston Bears. And Roy, a great playing career behind him before he came to Australia.
Yeah, hugely had a very good career, especially in the Eredivisie in Holland. But he done so well. In fact, he played at the 2006 World Cup for Holland, so that's no mean feat. So he was a hell of a player, and you know what? He's doing a pretty decent job as a coach as well up at Weston.
And always a testament to Australia when foreign players come to the A-League to live, and then they decide to stay when their playing career is over. Of course, you may have seen the rumours today of Thomas Muller connected to Sydney FC. Speaking of players that were players at World Cups, we're going to have a little cross shot here in the first. Well, would you call it a meaningful attack from the Western Bears? Blake Archbold allows that ball into the box, but it's been collected quite easily by Yaron Souza. Four minutes gone, and Heidelberg establishing control of the game. Anthony Lesiotis gets his ankles tapped, and an apology comes from Burke Farling, the American midfielder. They don't want to be chasing shadows for the entire night, the Western Bears, but in these opening minutes, they're happy to see what Heidelberg is all about. And at the moment, they are operating in fairly neutral territory. Do they have a killer pass coming from Mohamed Aidara here? That's a neat change of pace in the attack. McGowan turned behind for a corner. All important from Dylan Burston there, putting on the block.
Yeah, it was a good block, but yeah, you just touched on it there. Heidelberg, they're just constantly probing, and I think Weston, maybe before the game, they've said, oh, let's sit a little bit deeper to start with and feel Heidelberg out. Heidelberg aren't hanging around. They want an early goal.
So a corner kick. Chokdao has come over to take. He's got Mohamed Aidara for company. Dow, conventional delivery, out-swinging corner, off the woodwork, and the follow-up header is wide. Ryan Lethlean, luckless, and then the follow-up from Klaassen out for a goal kick.
Well, it's great delivery into the box, and Lethlean got up nice and early, great header, and the keeper has made a hell of a save there. And Weston, they're right in their luck at this point.
And let's check in with Archie Thompson, pitch side. Archie, first big chance for Heidelberg. What have you made of the first 6 minutes?
Yeah, thanks, Tao. Well, this is all pretty much the sort of format that Heidelberg like to play their football. Is like they get the ball, play possession, move the ball around, and this is going to probably be the theme of the game today, where they're going to probably have a lot more of the possession. I think under John Stasiadis, I mean, his style of football has certainly changed this club, and that's why they're having so much success, not just in this competition, but in the NPL.
Thanks, Archie. We'll keep checking in with you as the night goes on, but straight away, Heidelberg with a big chance, and now hoping that Klaassen can latch onto the end of this, but out comes Jared Roebuck. Speaking of the American connection, he was from Lithgow, Roebuck, and spent some time in the US college system. He's now back in Australia. Might be in for a busy night in goal here. He'll be hoping that his defence can give him plenty of protection.
Well, that's the worrying part right now. I think the way Weston started the game, it's, you know, they're in danger of becoming a punching bag if they just keep sitting back. So, you know, in their local competition, they're a team that plays front foot football, and they tend to dominate possession. So, yeah, this is unknown territory for them, really, being on the other side of that.
You can see they've got a front two here that are just protecting space rather than really aggressively committing to the press at present, and then a midfield block that's shuffling side to side, and Heidelberg are trying to bypass it here through the left channel. Lethlean, who hit the crossbar just a moment ago. Lesiotis. Chokdao. And again, look how high the goalkeeper is willing to come up. Quite advanced into the midfield third. Klaassen trying to judge the bounce. It will run on without a touch from a Western player, out for a goal kick.
Well, you can certainly say John Stasiadis has a definite identity. He wants his teams to play. He wants them to be aggressive and front foot. And I think that's definitely what they are. They've got some big timber as well at the back, but they seem to be quite mobile. And yeah, look, I've been impressed with them so far in this game. They look like a team that's full of confidence.
Well, the interesting thing is one of the key players to their passing and their movement, Jamal Ali, is not actually even in the squad tonight. Of course, they're competing on a number of fronts. They've got a cup final against arch-rival South Melbourne coming up in the next month. They're top of the league, which means they could be going to the Australian Championship. So they have shuffled the pack a little bit tonight. It does give a window of opportunity for Weston, because if the bench players don't have their shooting boots on, this 0-0 scoreline might hold for long enough to really become uncomfortable as Weston grow into the game. That clearance is going to be dealt with quite nicely. Farling nearly had his pocket picked, but Weston continue to build. And now, can they get a first meaningful attack of the game going? It's 3-on-1, and that was always hard to find a gap to try and run through. And it breaks down and ends in a foul here. Heidelberg happy to take the game to Weston and move quickly. Fletcher Fulton can't keep possession, though. Mana Iwasaki clearing from the right side of defence. Bit of holding, at least that's what Hatfield was claiming, and the referee agrees. So a dead ball situation right on halfway for the visitors.
But they'll need a lot of that from Hatfield tonight. When that ball goes up there, he needs to get hold. He needs to give his team a chance to get out and step onto the game, and also just buy them some time to get their breath back, because it looks like Heidelberg are going to hold a lot of the possession in this game.
Saw that run a moment ago from Aaron Niankuru, where he just ran into a 1-on-3. Wasn't able to make any further headway for Weston, but you can see now they have actually committed quite a few numbers forward ahead of the ball. They're going to have to find the right pass here. He's getting dragged back into the midfield third. And a turnover from Dominic Archibald could be costly. Idara. Quick spin by Yokokawa, comes unstuck. Kamara takes the ball off him. Physical stuff in midfield. No one taking a backward step. Certainly not Yokokawa. And that's the Heidelberg of old under George Katsakis. If you were an attacking player that ever gave the ball away, it would be expected you'd get back and defend from the front. So,
well, that's the thing. You can play the beautiful game, but you have to have a little bit of grit and determination when you turn over possession. I hear a lot of people talk about Ange Postecoglou and Pep Guardiola and the beautiful football they play. But I tell you what, without the ball, you got to work when you play in that formation under these guys, you know. So it should be no different at the NPL level.
McGowan is getting into some really good spots on the right flank. The delivery, though, is lacking on this occasion, but that's 3 times in 11 minutes now that he's been free on the right to swing in a dangerous ball. That one not his finest. Yeah,
it's worrying there down that side with Dom Archibald down that side. He's been kind of isolated and they've been double teaming him, so it's becoming a bit of a concern, but so far they're holding firm, our Weston.
Saw that stat there, 16 final third entries to 4. So the territory battle very much skewed in Heidelberg's favour. Weston are trying to do something about it. Iwasaki, long ball's been picked off, and now it might be coming back with interest. Theodoropoulos waits for the run of McGowan, a dummy run that didn't quite drag the defenders away, and now Theodoropoulos lunges in, advantage given by the referee. It's a bustling move from Musa Kamara, but his pass is misdirected. And so through comes Fletcher Fulton for Heidelberg. He's got Chok Dow and he's outside. 1-on-2, he's going to back his burst of speed. Cleared comfortably by Iwasaki at the near post. And now down the line, just a hopeful ball and a bit of a lost cause for Hatfield to pursue. Lethlean had it covered quite comfortably.
You can just notice as well the way Heidelberg play. They make this pitch very big when they have possession of the ball. And the longer the game goes on, and Weston, if they keep turning over possession, that pitch is going to feel very big indeed. So I just like to see Weston get their foot on the ball and try and play that game that they play normally and give themselves a real fighting chance.
Well, it's playing quite well tonight, Heidelberg's pitch. They underwent quite a bit of ground renovation off the back of COVID in 2021. And what used to be quite a heavy and difficult pitch now really suits the football that John Anastasiadis wants his team to play. It's been effortlessly 10 passes already, this move. And now it gets to the business end. Who's got the money ball to play it into the area? The centre-back, Collins, gives it a go. And It's repelled away. Now from left back, Weston. It's a lone show for Hatfield up top, and he gets a body check there from the backtracking Fletcher Fulton. Nothing illegal about it, though, according to the referee. Souza. From the base of midfield, Lesionis finds McGowan. Tried to push it one pass further forward, but Chris Hurley intercepted.
Nice by Lesionis though. He's always probing, he's always playing with his head on a swivel. He's looking for where McGowan is there in those little pockets. Yeah, he's a danger man, obviously, with his CV. He's been around the Melbourne club, City, Victory and West United, and he's got a little bit, and he'd be the one that Weston have to watch tonight.
That throw was a slip in delivery straight onto the head of McGowan, but it might work out here because that is a promising initial first touch from Aaron Kuru. Second touch was cleared away. But they do have a throw in almost level with the top of the box. Can they treat it like a set piece? Cross is going to come in from deep. Very ambitious ball. Lethlean volleys away. Flick header on. Dow nods it down. Has support from Yokokawa. And here goes Chok Dow. He's got Klassen on in the middle. Dow, does he back himself? Defenders scrambling back in numbers. Shot straight into the pack of players. So those numbers were crucial in the end for the Bears. Rolling away with a great first touch is Cooper Buswell. And now some numbers are committed forward. Hatfield. Still Hatfield. Well, just as he was thinking about loading up a shot, the challenge came at the last second.
That's better though, isn't it? Much more positive.
As bright as the Western Bears have looked going forward, a transitional game maybe to their liking because they're going to win the ball in their attacking half here. And a cross comes in from the right. It is scooped away by Ryan Lethlean. Well, we saw a bit of dare, we saw a bit of bravery, numbers committed forward, and on most of the Western attacks so far it had been a solo attacker waiting for support to break forward.
Well, that's going to be their only chance, really. Play on the front foot, play the game they normally play. I feel when you try and play a cup game and be very defensive and it's not your style, you're going to come unstuck, you know. And I think, especially with Heidelberg, they look so structured and organised and well drilled. You know, they'll have seen this every week in Victoria.
Theodoropoulos' volley has been intercepted by Farling. And able to find a way through was Dominic Archbold. Chested down, and the referee says free kick. So an attacking half set piece. Cooper Buswell has done well to trap that ball out of the air, and he was fouled. Not sure Yokokawa can have too many arguments about the late contact. And so Yaron Souza is back on his line. Are Heidelberg even going to have a wall? If they are, it's one person. So looks like it's a one-man wall. Free kick is drifted into the box, and on one bounce, it's easy pickings for Yaron Souza.
Not bad delivery though from Farling there. Definitely more dangerous than Weston though. Look, they're getting a lot more ball into Buswell now and Hatfield, and that's the secret for them really. Get the ball into the attacking half of the pitch and put some pressure on Heidelberg and make it a contest.
Hatfield, of course, was playing at Marconi before his trip to the Northern New South Wales League, so he's become accustomed to opponents of this calibre and just how tricky it can be to try and score against them. A volley on here. Hatfield is going to chase from a couple of steps behind Lethlean, but that pass is just going to volunteer the ball back to Weston, and now they can look to build. Quick turn by Hatfield. Ian Kuru shoved off the ball. So away comes Fulton, plays it over to McGowan. Jay McGowan stops and props.
Going to volunteer the ball back to Weston, and now
Someone's decided to pump out the commentary on the PA, Roy. I'm flattered.
They're sick of us already, Theo.
No, I think it's on. I think the problem is it might be just a little delayed. Just imagine how the players must feel. It's like a race call, hearing their names being shouted over the tannoy. Anyway, we'll sharpen back up and watch this attack here. Kamara plays the ball back to Hurley. This is a good darting run on the diagonal from Dominic Archbold. Plays it across. Neon Kuru couldn't chase it down, but they are growing into this game. And it gives us a chance to, well, just weigh up how Weston are starting to grow in confidence. You said they're a passing team. They've got to play their game. We're starting to see it a little bit more.
We're seeing a little bit of it now. So, yeah, this is more like it. And just make, throw a few jabs back at Heidelberg as well. So it's starting to become more of a fair fight now.
McGowan, a missed clearance in defence. McGowan, can he pick the right man on the cutback? He can't. Hurley was crucial. Well, McGowan remains a thorn down the side, but his crossing hasn't been able to bring his teammates into play just yet. And now Blake Archbold, one of the two brothers in the team, heard the shout from Buswell on the overlap. The cutback's on here, and Heidelberg are going to calm things down. Mohamed Idara takes possession, and they will break out of defence. But it seems as though the end-to-end full-field counter-attack suits Weston quite nicely. When they can break and exploit a little bit of space. Lesiotis.
Well, they've taken a leaf. Weston have taken a leaf out of Heidelberg's book there. They're playing out from the back through Chris Hurley. Balls into Buswell seem to be working really well. And that pace out wide that they have with Archibald is going to cause a threat if they use it right. And obviously, as we spoke about already, Chris Hatfield is a danger if you get in the right service.
Big switch over to Theodoropoulos on the right. McGowan tucked into an inside right position. A hefty challenge comes through. Yokokawa thought it was a penalty kick. Hurley says, get up, son. And it's going to be a corner.
Well, it's risky. It's risky whether he got the ball or not. It's a risky place to put yourself. Let's see it again. Oh, yeah, he got the ball, in fairness, but what's the first rule of defending? Try and stay on your feet if you can. He's taking a massive risk in a massive game, but it's paid off in this instance.
He gets to the ball right at the end of his slide challenge. Here's Choctow's corner. Oh, it looks like a handball against Klaassen, but play continues. Shot into the traffic is blocked away. Lots of bodies in the road for the Western Bears. Now another defensive header. Idara takes possession. McGowan at the edge of the box. Lethlean stayed forward, as did Collins. And his little dink is again nodded. Only as far as Yokokawa. That was a crucial header from Iwasaki. McGowan blocked as soon as he shot. Collins, well, that one was travelling, but again, a huge pack of players. And, well, it's been hectic, and eventually the Western Bears will clear their lines thanks to that ball deflecting away. Let's check in with Archie Thompson. We're about a quarter of the way through the 90. Down to you, Archie, your observations on the game so far.
Yeah, I think with Heidelberg, just a little bit frustrated in the way that they looked to open up gaps in that final third. I think there was a moment there when John Anastasiadis got a little bit frustrated with Ben Collins because he tried to force a pass that wasn't really there. And I think the more that Western Bears sit in and frustrate Heidelberg United, that will make them want to play these forceful passes that they're probably not used to. They're used to seeing sort of this flowing, a lot of 1-2s out in these wide areas and getting delivery across. I think if, like I said, Western could just block those avenues and really frustrate Heidelberg, that can come into this match.
Well, right now, their focus will turn to defending. Thank you to Archie Thompson at ground level, but we've got a corner kick coming up after that deflection from the cross by Fletcher Fulton. And so Choctaw is taking the corners on both sides of the pitch.
This is a big threat as well for Heidelberg. They've got some big units in their team. You know, the likes of, you got Klassen, you got Lethlean, you've got Ben Collins as well. They don't really want to be giving too many of these away, Weston.
You can see everyone's in the 6-yard box. It's a real crowd in there. Can Chock Dow drop it right on the money? He goes to Fletcher Fulton at the near post. He tried for the flick header. It's gone straight out. It came off Musa Kamara at the near post, and so it'll be repeat corners here. Chock Dow swings it in. Great header by Hurley to keep it away from any of the Heidelberg attackers. Now Hatfield tries to volley it over his own shoulder. He was nearly away, but Heidelberg had Theodoropoulos back. So he short-circuited any counter. Idara. Fletcher Fulton tries to go for the nutmeg out on the wing, but the Western defence, well, they've coughed up the ball and it's stayed in. They were nearly away. Instead, they have to refocus their efforts. Dow, Lesiotis. He couldn't bring it under control. Kamara. Hatfield. Is he going to have support get forward here? Kamara made a bustling run. Hatfield just never really took possession of the ball. And McGowan, well, he's going to put in a good challenge, and he's going to take possession here. He robbed Dylan Burson of the ball. Jay McGowan. Tried to send a pass to Chock Dow, and it was intercepted. Hatfield appeals for offside. Play continues. A couple of players go slip-sliding out of the way. Neon Kuru and also Blake Archibald unable to take clean possession, and so Heidelberg now consolidate. We're seeing the possession, 32% of the game taking place in the Western defensive third. And here's Klassen, takes the ball in straight on a tight angle, and a tap in for Heidelberg to open the scoring. It's Asahi Yokokawa continuing his excellent form. And it just needed a tap after the bullocking work of Klassen down the right.
Yeah, it's a terrific goal. Again, down that channel as well, in behind. Klassen made a lovely run. And good striker play to get to the byline. And a lovely cutback for Yokokawa, who was there. Johnny on the spot. Lovely ball in behind. Good strikers run, split the defence. Cuts the ball back. Yokokawa, Johnny on the spot. There you go, 1-0.
It is a chilly night in Melbourne, but you can't take the smile off the face of Asahi Yokokawa. He's been a phenomenon for Heidelberg this season. It is actually his first goal in the Cup, because he didn't score in any of the qualifying rounds, but he's netted 8 times in the league. And for an attacking midfielder who is providing assists as well, he really has been one of the reasons that Heidelberg have climbed to the top of the pile in Victoria. So, opening goal comes just after about a quarter of the night. How do you think that'll change the game?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We were just saying about, we were impressed with Weston coming back into the game and starting to throw a few jabs, but yeah, this is certainly going to put a little bit of pressure on their style of football. Now, do they have to change the way they play?
Well, they're going to look to hit back straight from kickoff. Blake Archibald attempting a through ball. Neon Kuru caught behind Fletcher Fulton. Dow.
You just feel for Weston, though, when they get into those final third areas, their end product is going to be so important. You know, they don't want to burn energy and get there and be wasted with their passes like that. It has to hit their man. It has to hit a green shirt. Whether it's a cross or a final pass, and at the moment they're wasting a lot of energy to get to those positions and kind of screwing up the end pass.
Well, interestingly, everything has slowed right down, almost a walking pace. Heidelberg won't mind that. They've got to just take stock of opening a lead. Yokokawa bundled off the ball, but the attack continues at the feet of Dow. Neat little sidestep. He sends across into the box. It has to be dealt with. And this is Kamara now leading a counter-attack. Hatfield, has he got a runner to play it to? He doesn't. He has to square it back into midfield. Blake Archibald. And now Farling. Hurley. You'll see that Weston have now advanced. Plenty of players up the pitch. Can they execute? Through the right they probe. First time ball is going to loop into the keeper's gloves.
Again, end product. They're getting into pretty good areas, but they keep missing that final pass, that final cross. It's going to be so important as this game goes on.
Of course, it's Cup night. We've got 4 games going concurrently. Goals flying in. We're expecting Weston to hit back here. Souza. Kamara. Heidelberg win possession back. McGowan. He's found himself in a trap, but he had an outlet. Oh, the back pass here is just going to sharpen Souza up just for a moment. Hatfield not quite able to close him down. And with that, Heidelberg out of their defensive third and can breathe again, but a slight switch off. You can see the intent of Weston. McGowan, early ball. Yokokawa, the goal scorer. He keeps it in. No, he doesn't. It's out for a throw. And it means we can go down to Archie Thompson. And Archie, you spoke about the frustration building for Heidelberg. I didn't see a smile on the face of John Anastasiadis there. What were your thoughts on the goal, and what's the reaction from the sidelines been?
Yeah, look, I think he was probably more relieved, if anything, because, like I said, I think Heidelberg were getting a little bit frustrated, just not getting their patterns of play. But I was right behind that ball in behind. It was a great run. And Clausen, I thought that was just a heavy touch, but he did so well to get back onto it and play that ball across the face of the goal with some pace. And like any other good striker, you've got to be following up. And that was just beautiful play. And I think there was a little smirk. Maybe he's a little bit happier. And I think it just takes a little bit of that stress off Heidelberg United.
Thank you, Archie. And, well, Mohamed Idara in possession here after half an hour means that Heidelberg are looking a little bit more comfortable on this 1-0 lead, but it is only 1. Weston will be hoping that if Heidelberg do ease off, there might be a bit of a mental lapse to go with it. You see the shot count, 9-1, is firmly skewed in favour of the home side. Here's Dow. Lesiotis. McGowan. Looks like a handball from our vantage point, but the referee lets it slide. Hurley goes for the clearance, and there is Johnny Anastasiadis in his technical area. Rueful shake of the head.
No smirk now.
No, he's seen enough to worry him. I mean, I know some gaffers right every kick of the ball, but John Anastasiadis' body language does suggest that he's seen enough from Weston here to give him some concerns. His team aren't sharp, and this might be why. Because here goes Nian Kuru. He's got 2 in the middle. Can he get across in to find either of them? Lethlean is able to volley it away uncontested. But they can move the ball, Weston. Hurley. Do they like the right flank again? Again, directing traffic, the captain of Weston. Pass into the midfield was read by Collins, and the attack breaks down. Can Heidelberg launch a counter? McGowan's on his bike. It's Jay McGowan at the edge of the box. He tried to cut it across. It was blocked away. Fletcher Fulton. And a slide challenge comes in that puts the ball out from Burston. He's also felled Yokokawa in the process. Idara. Fulton. And you can see Yokokawa there. Gave himself up offside. And so the ball runs out. We've still got over 10 minutes of regulation to go in the first half. Plenty of time. Jay McGowan there. He's come down from New South Wales, where he was playing for Sutherland Sharks in a relegation battle last season. He's in a title race now. Collins. Oh, late challenge on Kamara, but Jock Quartermain, the referee, has been on the more lenient side for a lot of the physicality tonight. He's happy to let that go.
And you can certainly see Heidelberg as well. They're a more physical side in stature and the way they're built, but also the way they play the game, which maybe has a lot to do with how they play in their own competition down in Victoria. But Weston, certainly, it's a bit of an eye-opener for them.
Long diagonal ball. Weston trying to make ground ahead of play, but the touch from Hatfield will give the ball back to Heidelberg. McGowan, Theodoropoulos. An ambitious pass, it's been intercepted. Is this the chance? Buswell, sidestep, legged! No call. Referee was on the scene and didn't even flinch to reach for the whistle. Cooper Buswell. The sidestep was promising, but the shot never came.
You know, he done terrifically well, but if I'm going to be ultra critical, does he try and do too much? He's made his opening. Get your shot off. Does he try and beat the man again? Again, could have been a penalty, but I think the referee was thinking the same as me. Just shoot, man.
Big moment in this first half.
But lovely play, though. Lovely footwork. Little nutmeg on the edge of the box, and yeah, he's reveling on the big stage.
Long ball from Lethlean. Klaassen trying to make a late run, and it's keeper's ball. Roebuck comes out with an overarm throw. It's out to right back. Nyonkuru. Buswell, the man of the moment. Kamara. Farling, his pass intercepted. Heidelberg trying to punish. Idara to McGowan. One more pass. He finds Chock Dow. Dow spins. Still Chock Dow. It's back to McGowan off the crossbar. It just kept rising, and Jay McGowan is foiled by the woodwork, and it's Heidelberg striking the bar for the second time in this half, and they can't make amends from Klaassen as he heads wide at the far post.
Well, Chock Dow now with the fancy footwork in the box. It was great play by Jay McGowan here. He found the pass beautifully. The shot is on there. The shot is on here. The shot is on now. You can't beat 7 men in the box. And then Jay McGowan nearly scores at the back stick. What a game we have, Teo, on our hands.
A let-off for Weston. And we've got a delay here because it looks like we've got a blood nose or a cut lip for Jay McGowan. It'll just be cosmetic repairs for him.
He's done ever so well down that right-hand side as well there. And it's really great vision to see Chock Dow. And here we go. It's a lovely play. Here you go. Get your shot off. You know, yeah. Let me see it again.
I think he trips himself.
Yeah. He's trying to do too much, trying to be too clever with the Cruyff turn. But the first part of that, the little nutmeg to make the opening, very good by Buswell.
Jock Quartermain held his nerve under quite a loud shout. It's certainly not a parochial Heidelberg biased crowd by any means. There's plenty of support for the Western Bears that have made their way to Melbourne, or maybe were based in a home away from home. You see those yellow and black scarves over in the outer. Of course, this venue, when it's full, can be absolutely heaving, but not quite tonight. Long ball here. Is this a moment of redemption? It isn't. It's a heavy landing. Buswell tried to go for the volley on the turn and got nothing but fresh air. But again, Weston are able to create.
Again, lovely ball in behind. Forward run by Cooper Buswell. And I think he wants to score a spectacular goal tonight. He was going for the bicycle kick that time.
Weston will take any sort of a goal, even if it's an accident. Right now, they are getting into positions to score a goal. And it means that as long as it's only 1-0, Heidelberg are far from sure things. That is in spite of having rattled the woodwork twice, in addition to scoring. Here's Idara. Souza. Again, the goalkeeper just dictating matters. He was a Melbourne City junior. He played at Pascoe Vale before his time at the Mariners. He's knows the Victorian football scene inside and out. As we see the defence clear, and Heidelberg will take a throw. Here's Yokokawa. Sets Theodoropoulos a task. The cut across. It was nearly a replica of the opening goal. Cross from the right, run to the near post. This time, Weston had a man in the road. But the danger is not yet averted. Klaassen, Idara buzzing around, and now it's the goalkeeper coming out.
Yeah, that's their area, isn't it? That kind of the right-hand side and trying to get in behind Weston in that kind of central left area. Runs in behind, forward runs, and yeah, Weston just cleared their lines there, but really good play, positive play by Heidelberg.
Dominic Archbold. These are two of the three Archbolds playing in this match tonight in the starting 11. Really clever back heel. And now from the byline, tight angle shot. Was the cut back on? It's a good save from Yaron Souza. He's had to step up in this moment, and he refused to be beaten in the near post by Buswell, who remains the action man.
No, there's a real buzz around Buswell tonight, and yeah, he's certainly living up to the expectations that I had for Weston coming into this game, and it's a big save from Yaron Souza there, really, in the scheme of things.
John Anastasiadis, you saw him having a very focused look there. He's got a tablet going on the sideline that he's studying, because it's a corner for the Western Bears. They haven't had much by way of attacking half set pieces, so let's see if Burke Farling can put this one right on the spot. Corner driven beyond the back post, and it's a great save from Souza. What a chance, and what a header from Mana Iwasaki, and a save equally as good.
Well, you can tell that's something they've been working on for the last couple of weeks on the training ground. Lovely ball by Farling into Iwasaki, and again, that's two huge saves from Souza here, and he's under pressure again right now.
Weston enjoying their best spell of the game. All of a sudden, the captain, Hurley, standing right next to the keeper. Farling is taking the corners from both sides. So what have they got planned on this occasion? It's a bending out swinger, an up and under header, and it lands on the roof of the net rather than requiring the goalkeeper to have a touch. Tell you what, they'll if they don't equalise before half-time, Weston, they'll still go into the sheds full of belief.
I think so. If I was Q Jollians coming in at half-time, I'd be delighted with my team. You know, they knew they were coming up a level here against Heidelberg, but they've, you know, after the opening exchanges in the first 10 minutes, they've grown into the game. And, you know, was it not for Souza here in the last 5 minutes, they'd be going in with a big smile on their face, and Johnny A would definitely not have a smirk.
Can Heidelberg show a ruthless streak? How they would love a 2-0 cushion before the break to try and just demoralise their opponents. McGowan, Yokokawa, big deflection, and that will take all the menace out of the shot. 3 minutes of regulation to go in what has been a brisk first half. Fulton, a little slip. That's going to open the door for Hatfield, but he's surrounded by 3 opponents and he squirms out of a jam. And he tried to go for a long shot. As soon as he got free, he shot on side and it didn't quite work out for him as he almost toe bashed it out for a goal kick.
No, but it's really good striker play, you know. Sometimes it can't always be perfect and pretty, but he's putting his body in there, he's pressing people, he's making them sweat on every touch, and that's what his team needs from him tonight.
Lesiotis really had the heat put on him by Farling there. Weston getting a bit bolder in their press. Dow, long ball, some half-hearted appeals for offside, but the flag stays down. Dow, his cutback not effective. Kamara takes over for Weston. Now Burston to Iwasaki. Hurley. Buswell left it, knew exactly where his teammate Archbold was coming through. Dominic Archbold. Hurley's pass, good back to goal play by Hatfield. So the move continues. This is the Western Bears we were promised, passing football. Now it's Heidelberg's turn to chase some shadows right at the end of the first half. Are we about to end the first 45 with a bang? Little slip off the ball from Hatfield, but he quickly regains his feet. Theodoropoulos. And McGowan wins a throw-in.
I think when Heidelberg go in at half-time, a little bit of their talk will be when Johnny A gets that tablet out. He'll be talking about Chris Hurley coming out with that ball and looking for Buswell in those pockets in that number 10 space. That's causing them all sorts of problems in this last 15 minutes.
So is that the responsibility of the forwards to press him differently or set up differently, or is it more about who's marking Buswell further up the pitch?
I think that's exactly what it'll be. I think it'll be the strikers. Maybe they want to show him to the other centre back, which is Iwasaki. They'll want to show it down the other side towards, away from Buswell. So, yeah, I think Chris Hurley seems to be the kind of orchestrator of anything good for Weston at the moment.
They've got a free kick here, in spite of much protestation. We're already 20 seconds into one additional minute at the end of the first half. So this might be the last phase. This was a bit of a spectacular tackle in the end, but it was Lesiotis who was designated to have committed the foul. He went flying, but he also maybe caught his opponent in the head. So Farling, we've seen him on corner duty. What about a mid-range free kick? He's going to drop it at the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's catching practice for Yaron Souza. Heidelberg have only got seconds left to play with here. Can they go in a hurry? Choc Dow is a speedster. He's going to be matched stride for stride here by Burston. Dow, as Heidelberg get numbers forward in the middle. He cuts it back. Theodoropoulos, the minute of stoppage is up at the end of the first half. How generous is the referee feeling? It's going to be off the head of Hurley. Are they going to get a corner? Are they going to have time to take it? I think they will. This would be a gut punch if Heidelberg score here. Weston have built into the game. They've created chances. They've had some big moments. They had a big penalty shout. But now they have to survive this last corner kick. Choc Dow on corner taking duties. Whips it into the near post. Lethlean was there, and the volley is wide and high, and that will be half-time. So the goal scorer, Asahi Yokokawa, had the final say of the first half. It's his tap-in on the end of a cutback from Peter Clausen. That's the difference between the two teams. But it has been enterprising from the Western Bears. They have grown into this contest, and Heidelberg, no, they are in a cup tie for sure. We're off to a quick break. When we come back, we'll analyse the action and look.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speeds.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
it's me, DJ. I've always got music lined up for you.
On notice. Of course, Heidelberg have got the top scorer in NPL Victoria sitting on the bench, Bull Juach. They've got one of their prime movers who used the cup last season to break into the A-League in Sabit Nyor. Do you think that John Anastasiadis will go to his bench sooner rather than later, perhaps acknowledging the Western Bears have been more than a match for his team?
I think he'll go to his bench. I don't think he'll go there at half-time. I think they've been actually doing quite enough going forward. The movement has been good. By and large, they're creating chances, but yeah, Sabit Nyor and Bull Juach, definitely, I think 60 minutes onwards, they'll be entering the fray.
So we'll wait and see what changes are afoot. The second half not far away. A quick break, and when we return, the action continues for Olympic Village in the Hahn Australia Cup. Welcome back to live pictures from Olympic Village, Catalina Street, Heidelberg West. We're at halftime in this Hahn Australia Cup tie. It is your rugged up, scarfed up, beanie wearing fans watching Heidelberg United 1, leading the Weston Bears 0, and Victoria set to continue its run of form in the Cup. It's at the expense of Northern New South Wales, but it was a first half that would have given the visiting team plenty to be encouraged by, whether it was open play, set pieces, or other areas of the game. The goalkeeping, though, Roy O'Donovan, has also given us some pretty good highlights, and that save from Jared Roebuck was one to put in the highlight reel.
Yeah, well, Jared Roebuck and especially Yaron Souza for Heidelberg later on in the game. They've kept their teams in it at times, but look, there's been openings. It's been end-to-end, especially that last 20 minutes. But Weston definitely were coming home there with a wet sail at the end of that first half, so Heidelberg, no doubt, will be getting quite a stern talking to at halftime.
So that was Yaron Souza tipping the ball over the bar. Now, in 16-17 league games this season, and then 3 out of the 4 cup ties, Western Bears have scored. They are very rarely held scoreless. Only one league game. They did have a 0-0 draw, which went to penalties in their cup run as well. But they generally find the back of the net. And as you would well know, Roy, scoring's a habit. And so whether it's individually or as a team, it's very rarely that they come out onto the pitch and don't expect to score or think that they won't score in a game. So that's got to count for something, that belief that they've built through the course of the campaign.
Correct, Theo. And you know, winning is a habit, scoring goals is a habit, and they've been doing that aplenty this year. So, look, I think they've grown in stature and in confidence in this game. And, yeah, I don't think they'll take a backward step in this second half. They'll make Heidelberg earn every single thing to get to the next round.
So Weston Bears are first back out onto the playing surface. Aaron Kuru has often found himself running into a 1-on-2 or a 1-on-3. Now this is something you noticed, Roy. Those jackets for the subs, keeping them warm. How would you describe those?
A throwback from at least the 80s or 90s generation. A bit of a boiler suit, I would say. It's
my first thought was that they looked like they were boxers going out to the boxing ring about to disrobe.
I thought they were working for Channel 10 or Paramount Plus, you know, one of those jackets they wanted the people behind the camera wears, but no, it's actually the team. So there you go.
We'll see how early, if a player walks up to the fourth official still wearing that get-up and then disrobes like a boxer entering the ring. Anyway, we'll leave that to when the subs start coming. Here is the goal scorer, Asahi Yokokawa. One of the creative sparks that has lit up this Heidelberg team this season, but he was the finisher on this occasion, scoring the only goal of the game so far. Our refereeing crew is back with us, so everyone we need to get the second half underway, and it will be the Weston Bears in the green attacking the right of your screen. Doesn't look like anyone is being walked up to the fourth official just yet, so the 11s that started the game seemingly good to continue. Heidelberg want one more huddle. Weston want to kick this one off. They've come back out a little bit earlier and want to get things started. So barely enough time for one last word in that Heidelberg circle, and we will get the action back underway in the Hahn Australia Cup. Of course, it continues on Sunday with Perth Glory taking on the Wellington Phoenix. There's the whistle, and the second half is underway with Heidelberg United leading 1-0 against the Weston Bears. And Heidelberg are going to win the ball back in their attacking half. Lesiotis. Klaassen back to goal. Drives it out to the left. Chokdao. Fletcher Fulton. Saw the run coming from Yokokawa. He squares it. Mohamed Aidara. Now Jay McGowan. Look how high Yaron Souza has come out off his line. He was daring Chris Hatfield to come and chase him to take the ball off him. And now Heidelberg have coughed up the ball and Hatfield gets his chance. But he'll see Souza is back on his line, and he does go for a tester from distance, but the goalkeeper was not to be outfoxed. Yeah, the idea was right, but it was just 10 seconds too late. I think when they won the ball back initially, they should have went for that shot. Souza was in no man's land. But you're right, I think the way Heidelberg play, it's really front foot, and it's high risk, high reward. Benjamin Collins here, and at the other centre half, Letterline, they're almost on the halfway line in possession of the football. Yaron Souza not far behind them, so yeah, if Weston do win the ball back, the early shot could be on. Of course, the Cup has an amazing history of long-distance goals. I'm going to reference it 2 nights in a row. Danny Choi scoring inside his own half back in the early years. Here's Heidelberg on the build. Klaassen turns. Can he free the feet? He can't. Good challenge from Hurley. Sends him back a metre, but Heidelberg keep the ball. McGowan is going to bend across. It needed to be dealt with, and Chokdao watched the Western keeper and defence raffle it and put it behind for a corner. Yeah, positive play. Klaassen again, he's been a threat tonight. And Jay McGowan on that right-hand side has been really, really industrious for Heidelberg United. He's been, I would say, their best player to this point. He's been, everything he's done well. He's done with purpose. Another set piece now, Theo. Chokdao into the near post. Flick header. Oh, it's cleared away. It looked like it might have been sliding on for a split second, but ricocheted clear. Lethlean. Dow. Tough for Fletcher Fulton. He had Ian Kuru right on his case as soon as he took possession of the ball, and it was spilled away, but Weston can't take it and use it. And so Fulton now with plenty more space. Fulton sends it wide. Chokdow. And it's out for a corner kick. Chokdow, one corner already in this half. Does he go near post again? Dow's corner, and well, it looked like it was first head of Heidelberg, but Iwasaki rose highest in the end. Corner take it down. That's going to bend to the edge of the box. Yokokawa. Slide challenge comes in and takes the ball away. Hatfield able to protect the ball and hold it up for Weston. Buswell. Farling. Long ball out to the right and overhit, but Heidelberg were happy to stand off there and let Weston decide if they wanted to keep trying to play through or ultimately lose patience and send the ball long. Collins from the centre of Heidelberg's defence. Theodoropoulos, pass intercepted. Now breaking through midfield. This is better from the Western Bears. Great recovering challenge from Idara. He slid through on Archbold there and was able to win the ball. Now he's in possession himself here, Mohamed Idara.
Really well played there from Idara, who's been a fixture of this Heidelberg team for the last couple of years and all their cup runs. But that's a big tackle. Blake Archibald was gaining some momentum there, but he wasn't going to let him get away that easy.
Iwasaki happy to be patient. Back to his captain in Hurley. Hurley's long ball. It's allowed to bounce here by Fletcher Fulton, and he puts it out for a throw. Let's quickly throw down to Archie Thompson. Archie, first 5 minutes of the second half. It looks as though it's been a pretty steady start to proceedings from Heidelberg, and Weston are growing into the game again.
Yeah, well, I think with Heidelberg, they don't need to rush anything. I'll just let this play out, actually. Yeah, no, I think with Heidelberg, they don't need to really rush anything. They've got that goal lead. You can see probably why that Heidelberg just sit off and are quite comfortable to let Weston play the ball around. But in possession, when they do have it, I can just see J.O. on the sideline there, just wanting the team to just move the ball a little bit quicker. And that second goal, just to really put a little bit more of a cushion between these two.
We will keep checking in with Archie, especially as the subs start changing this game and affecting the pattern and the momentum. We're yet to see either team turn to the benches. Running out of territory is Nian Kuru.
You have to say though, the longer this game goes on at 1-0, it suits Weston. It only takes one moment to change a cup game. So they've got Heidelberg right now where they want them. Heidelberg aren't in total control, which they thought they might be at this point in the game.
By no means, and they've shown themselves to be a team that can create a moment. The next step for Weston is to seize the moment. Squabble for the ball on the sideline, and much to Weston's disappointment, it's Heidelberg's. Throwing down the line. Touchdown by Yokokawa. Shouts for handball. The ball just won't go out. McGowan. Now Kamara. He made the ball his own. Willed himself through the mess of players. And, well, that pass from Buswell, not his finest as he tried to find Neon Kuru. Yokokawa. McGowan. He's got Yokokawa on his outside. He goes to ground. And referee Jock Quartermain says it's a goal kick, and there's a bit of afters here. Maybe an unfriendly word or two being exchanged. Dylan Burston and Asahi Yokokawa.
Dylan Burston is saying, get out of it. Old school defender, no nonsense. This is my turf.
I mean, did he have a claim to a foul here?
It's a bit of a nudge, but the defender usually gets the advantage in those situations.
How did you feel as a striker if you went to ground and then the defender would stand over you or decide he's the ref and shout at you for going to ground?
Yeah, I suppose. I saw the red rag every now and then, but by and large, I held my nerve there.
I think the real answer was I never went to ground unless it was unless it was a foul.
I wouldn't tell you a lie.
Almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. Weston not able to build here. That's an important intercept coming through. Now Heidelberg in a flash are trying to break forward Chok Dow, and the ball is spilled. Goalkeeper Roebuck is going to get back on his line, but he'll be able to do so without too much stress as Neon Kuru has come back to help out. And he can't quite turn out of danger, but the ball is there to be won, and eventually it is going to be Heidelberg's ball.
I'm just wondering, is Q Jallins thinking of making a change? Neon Kuru, he's finding it hard to get into the game. You know, he's getting a lot of the ball in his own half, but it's not really going to hurt the opposition, which is his strength. So I'm just wondering, is he thinking of tinkering with the 11?
It's going to be Weston ball here. Well, do they have an ace in the hole? The Weston Bears. Brock Beveridge has scored 6 times this season. He is currently the top scoring player sitting amongst the substitutes for, as we watch this long shot here. Yokokawa can't dip it in time for a goal kick. Brock Beveridge is the highest scoring player currently seated on the bench. Most of the protagonists of their season are out there on the pitch at present, the Weston Bears. But you're right, within the next 5 minutes we might have a very different game if the stubs start coming.
And does he change the formation slightly? Does he tweak? I'm looking at Connor Evans, who has had a famous cup run as well with Blacktown against the Mariners all those years ago. Does he come into that central midfield and they make it a bit more aggressive in there and go with a narrow 3 rather than 2 wingers that aren't influencing the game as much?
Well, I think you raised it earlier, the longer it stays 1-0 is the risk that you spend too long biding your time waiting for the last 10 minutes, and if you cop a goal before then the task is twice as difficult when you get to the last 10.
Yeah, I just think, especially in a cup game, you've got, you know, nothing to lose for Weston here, everything to gain. Do it in a positive way, you know, and I think Q Jallins is certainly that type of coach. He's shown that in the past, and yeah, I'm just wondering how long he waits now.
Well, let's not assume Heidelberg are going to remain this passive as well, because they are letting the game drift at the moment. And maybe it'll be a sub or an instruction from John Anastasiadis that sharpens them up, because right now Weston are owning the ball and Heidelberg seemingly are happy to let them do so, because it's not in the most dangerous territory. Iwasaki. Burston wasn't able to loop it around Fletcher Fulton, but it will be a throw in. Hurley's long ball out to the right. Good first touch. Squared to the top of the box. Played on. Buswell once, twice. Offside flag is up. I'm not sure it was his intent to pass it to Neon Kuru. I think it might have, dare I suggest, Roy, just been a heavy first touch.
Possibly, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been that good tonight, Boswell, so we'll just say it was a good touch and a nice pass all in one motion.
That was good control, but there is the pass that was trapped Neon Kuru. Offside?
Yeah, he's definitely offside. Look, I think it was a men's pass to Teo. I'm on the player side with that one.
So, first change, and it's a change at left back. Fletcher Fulton leaves the game for Heidelberg, and Dalibor Markovic comes on. So, looks as though it's like for like. Markovic coming in on the left side of defence. I wonder if that's a new source of energy, or maybe also John Anastasiadis mindful that he wouldn't mind a bit of extra height out there. He's subbed off one of his shorter players in Fulton, and Markovic is a slightly taller option there. Set pieces could play a key role. We're about to see a long throw right here.
I think possibly with that height as well, coming on from Markovic, is a worry that Hurley coming out from the back is playing a lot of diagonal balls out to that side, so maybe he feels Markovic can deal with that a lot better as well.
It's going to be a corner kick right on cue. And so is this the moment for Weston to draw level? Almost at the hour mark now. They have yet to turn to their bench.
Geez, would make it interesting.
It'll set up a massive final half hour if Farling's corner can find a teammate right here. Burke Farling. Beyond the far post it goes. It's all Heidelberg in the air initially, and the ball is there to be won. Farling, the corner taker. He's going to jag onto his right, lift in a teasing cross, and it's Lethlean who stands tall in the penalty area. And then Klaassen got the next touch of the ball. Hurley. McGowan, was he fouled? Play continues. Kamara. That's a clever back heel. Klaassen. Heidelberg can't clear their lines though. And now the captain, Hurley. Well, he went for glory, and it dipped late as he sent it over the bar.
Yeah, he deserves a pop. He's been good tonight for them. He's been their leader. He's almost like their quarterback. Every attack starts through him.
Well, you raised a point in the first half about how you think Heidelberg should defend his distribution, and you've seen no change in the first 15 minutes of the second half?
They're trying to keep him limited, but it's hard to limit him all the time, the strikers, but maybe that's where Johnny A's next couple of subs. He's got Sabit in order to come on and Bull Juach to come on, easy for me to say. There to come on, and they might well want to show him down the opposite side, away from Chris Hurley, because he's definitely the threat coming out from the back.
Here's Markovic, the only sub of the game so far, sending the ball down the line. Neon Kuru, Iwasaki into midfield. Square ball from Theodoropoulos. Lesiotis has got his hands full here. Buswell wins it back, and now the through ball is on. Hatfield just wide. And it caught the fingertips of Yaron Souza. It's a save by the Heidelberg keeper.
Again, another big save, but a really good play from Weston there. They won the ball. Blake Archibald splitting past Hatfield, does everything right, and fingertips from Souza. Great move from Weston Bears.
He's got the aim at the bottom left, and yeah, you see it quite clearly. You see the glove and you see the fingers.
Just changed the trajectory, that ball at the end there.
So close to the equaliser for the Western Bears. They've got a corner as their reward. In swing into the near post, and it will flash back out for repeat corners. The pressure builds. Taken quickly and taken short. Looped in now. And up and under header away. Archbold brings it down. And then a scoop volley more than anything. That's a release of the pressure valve from Kamara as he sent it into the night sky. Double change coming. Triple change coming. Sabitnor, Buljuach, and also Max Basetto. 3 forwards, well, an attacking midfielder and 2 forwards. So they're going to totally reform their attacking third here, Heidelberg. And maybe the attackers on the pitch know that this is their last chance to venture forward and try to score a second. Hurley, caught in possession. Yokokawa sees the run of Lesiotis. It's going to bend away from him, but he will stay level with the box. Lesiotis, a low cross, which is dealt with comfortably. Farling, he's got nothing going ahead of the ball, so he's going to bide his time and brute force it down the line, and he did eventually find Neon Kuru. Is that going to be the triple change for Heidelberg? No, they're going to keep their powder dry for one more phase of play. Wouldn't Weston love to score right here as Heidelberg are about to make a triple change? Buswell, bit of a hot potato, the pass. He sends it high in the air. Can he win it back? Lesiotis got to the ball instead. Caresses it out to the right. Hurley keeps it in. And now it will be Heidelberg's ball down at right back. And so we're going to see 3 substitutions in one fell swoop here from Heidelberg United. Who's coming off? Max Bissetto's coming on, as is the top scorer in NPL Victoria with 17 goals this season, Buljuach. So first to go is Choctaw for Bissetto. Second player to come off. Looks as though it's going to be Peter Klaassen.
Substitutions for Heidelberg United.
Buljuach is the third and final player to enter the game.
Number 19 and number 15, Choctaw, coming onto the pitch.
So there is Buljuach.
Buljuach and number 20, Max Bissetto.
So, triple change. Jay McGowan, the other player. So, it's fresh legs, fresh ideas, and a totally new-looking attacking third of the pitch.
Fresh energy as well. You know, I think they've come out for this second half and they're a little bit flat. Weston are definitely more in control of this game. So they're bringing on the big dogs. Definitely Joach, Noor, and Bissetto coming on now. They're going to put the pressure back on Weston, or they hope to.
Well, if they don't get a change in character in the game from bringing on 3 players, then Weston again will simply be buoyed by how they remain in this contest. Through ball here. Neon Kuru chasing, but Souza has needed little encouragement to get out of his line and does so again. Here's Sabitnor. Trying to go for a rangy run, and Hurley says, welcome to the Australia Cup National Rounds. One thing is, with Heidelberg, they're not showing impatience. They're not showing restlessness, the way that their gaffer was when the score was 0-0. Souza, Hatfield again, tried to bite, nearly got there, but Souza timed his clearance, and now it's offside down the other end. So a little bit of a soft launch there down for the new attackers. Buljuach getting trapped offside. Through the left side go Weston. It's a teasing ball, but a little brisk for all and sundry that were chasing it in the middle.
Yeah, it's a good ball. You want your strikers there. You want them there for the tap-ins. That's going to be the difference in this game. Just getting there and doing that extra hard yard to get to the 6-yard line for a tap-in.
How about this? The sub we suggested about 10 minutes ago is happening. Aaron Niankuru is coming off, and Brock Beveridge is coming on. He has actually scored in Weston's last 3 league games. So he's got a bit of form behind him, and he's got 6 for the season as a result of his good form. So he comes on. Niankuru has tried hard, but ultimately not being able to get the better of whenever Heidelberg have trapped him in a 1 or a 1-on-2 or a 1-on-3. Maybe Brock Beveridge will have a bit more fortune.
Well, look, he's been scoring goals in clubland. He's a little bit more physical than Niankuru, and I feel with Niankuru, he's struggling to get into the game and influence himself in this second half. So, yeah, it's a step in the right direction, I think, for Jallians at this moment in time.
Passes flashing back and forth. Farling had to go to ground to make a slight challenge. Weston, his pass was intercepted, and Buljuach is fouled.
Nice first touch, though. Nice turn.
Here is Max Bissetto. Working laterally. Leaves the ball with Idara. Now Lesiotis. hopeful cross, which is going to sail out. Not the finest coming there from Dalibor Markovic.
Cheap giveaway from Burston. And then they're into that attack. Lovely touch by Juach as well when he just first touch. Look at that. Nice and neat. Hurley nowhere to be seen.
Well, we haven't had a card in tonight's game. We're almost at the 70-minute mark. It's been pretty well behaved so far. We haven't had any chippiness or over-the-top aggro really come in either.
Our mate Jock Quartermain, the referee with the American football name, he's had a pretty good game. He's been letting a lot flow.
I do wonder if passions may boil in these last 20 minutes, though, as we get to the pointy end of this contest, and Weston might start to leave a foot in and press a little bit more as they see the finish line rapidly approach. Heidelberg would love to snuff out a comeback before it even happens. Collins plays it out to Nyor. Sabit Nyor tries to go for the big touch out in front and the burst of acceleration, but he's been guarded very aptly by Dominic Archbold there, who refused to let him stride past. And now that pass is a good one because it's got Weston Bears away. Hatfield, who's on in the middle for him? He bides his time, takes on Lethlean, trying to break past him, and Lethlean has done just enough to put him off. It is going to be a corner, and Heidelberg are appealing. To the naked eye, I thought Hatfield got the last touch, but the referee was right on the scene.
Yeah, really good counter-attack. Double team effort here on Sabit and Nyor. First of all from Archibald, and then his brother came into the fray as well. Blake and Dom both involved. Good tackle, yeah, I'm all for that. And then the counter-attack after this to set Hatfield away. It's what I want to see more of. 2 passes and they're into the opposition's final third. No, this is the problem here. They're just so isolated. When Hatfield comes out of the box, there's nobody there. Buswell needs to be busting along to get in there to score a goal.
And the frequency, as we've got a player down here for Heidelberg, the frequency with which they've been able to do this, though, is impressive. It's Heidelberg are definitely seeing something a bit different here. A well-researched Western team. Now, this is going to be an end-of-the-night concern for Anthony Theodoropoulos. His number is up. Johnny Apostopoulos is coming on. So that is a change at fullback on both sides of the pitch now for Heidelberg, with Theodoropoulos on the right coming off, and we've already seen Dalibor Markovic come on for Fletcher Fulton. So on comes Apostopoulos. Big moment for him. Defending a corner kick. So we've ticked into the final 20 minutes. Is this Weston's moment? Farley in swinger to the near post. Comfortably headed away by Lethlean. Kamara keeps the ball in Western possession. Promising first touch by Archbold. Hurley. Iwasaki. Blake Archbold again. Knew that he had a man further wide. Kamara turns onto his right. And 2 defensive headers for Heidelberg put it on the feet of Sabit Nyor. And he drives it over to the touchline on the opposite side of the pitch.
Heidelberg, even with all the substitutions, they cannot turn the tide. That's the worrying part for their coach on the sideline. They're not in control.
Weston hoping to buy another corner here, but that is well defended. And so as the ball tumbles out, a goal kick and a chance for Heidelberg to slow things down. They have such a great record in the Cup. They've been to the quarterfinals on 4 occasions. They've never made it to the semis. They're the sort of team with multiple wins against A-League opponents over their history. So they would feel as though they're exactly the sort of team this year and exactly the sort of club historically that should be able to make a final. Be a candidate to be that first ever non-A-League team to win the trophy. But right now they've got their hands full and they are by no means through to the round of 16 with only a 1-0 scoreline. Kamara, a quick 1-2. Burston. Heidelberg have got numbers committed to the press here, and they're going to win the ball. Lesiota's got a foot on it. Bassetto. And it's all hands on deck. And I tell you what, Chris Hurley, hasn't he played well tonight?
He's been terrific. He's been Weston's best, no doubt about it.
Markovic. Slight challenge comes in, foils Lesiotis. Headed by Hurley, knew exactly where his teammates were set up. Buswell. Farley. Heidelberg drop off, so they committed a good 2 minutes to trying to press the Weston Bears down in the corner, but you can see all the numbers have retreated now. Weston don't mind that because it's given them a bit of breathing room. Over to the left side they go in one pass. They cut back inside. And the long shot, well, it's easy pickings for the goalkeeper. It does go down as a shot on target, but not the best they maybe had to offer.
It's the wrong option there. I think they had enough bodies there to kind of get another couple of passes in there and really stretch Heidelberg. But yeah, it's a shot on the tactics board, I'm sure.
Hurley leans into the header. Heidelberg bench think it was a handball against Kamara, but play continues.
I'm trying to work out, is it nervous energy trying to get to the finish line for Heidelberg, or is it Weston have really upset their rhythm? I can't work out which is which, but Weston certainly have been much more dominant on the ball in this second half.
Here is Kamara. And he's going to keep the ball. He gets the better of Bisetto, but his cross not able to get the better of Markovic, and that was crucial. Bisetto trying to burst out of his defensive half. The referee stands pat. Doesn't pay the foul. The Heidelberg defence, I said tempers might start to bubble. I can hear the bubbles popping.
Here we go, Theo.
There may be just a couple of moments of leniency is starting to heat up the blood. Iwasaki. Farling. Now Buswell, first time ball, is going to be snuffed out by Lethlean. 15 minutes of regulation to go. Lethlean maybe dawdled a little too long. Kamara, edge of the box for Hatfield. Still plenty of numbers there for Heidelberg. And the through pass here is incisive. And now on the tight angle. Well, it's the sub who came on, Brock Beveridge, that is able to earn his team a corner. It might have been going wide, but there was still a glove put on it by Yaron Souza.
Yeah, well, Brock Beveridge actually held his own in that area, that little pocket of space, and he made a lovely run. If I'm being critical, this was his first touch in that area. This first touch here takes him away from goal. The movement is good there. If he takes that touch more ahead of him, he gets a better chance on goal. But Yaron Souza made a really good stop.
So the result is another Burke-Farling corner kick. To the far post it goes. It's all Heidelberg in the air, but it's Weston at the fall. Farling from the right. Jinks wide. In at the near post. Volleyed away. As the crosses add up, Heidelberg's defensive superiority in the air is starting to show. Q Yarlians. A few shouts of encouragement for his team. He can see the potential starting to be realised. But will the ball end up in the net? Iwasaki. Brought down nicely at the edge of the box. Here's the chance for Hatfield. Blocked away. Follow up by Kamara. Another block. Heidelberg's defending on the money. And now a long ball. And they could be stung here. It's the chance for the Bull Jawad show. It's not going to start just yet. He keeps the ball at his feet. Sabit Nyor. Twisting and turning at the edge of the box and over the bar. And Heidelberg showing what's possible on the counter-attack.
Well, it goes from one end of the pitch to the other. Hatfield had a chance to get a shot off, and they've gone right down the other side. And the pace of Juach in behind, you thought he would get a touch over his feet and get a shot off, but he wanted one touch too many. And in the end, it kind of fizzled out. And Sabit Nyor got a shot off, but never really looked in control of it. End-to-end stuff, though, Theo. It's good.
You felt as though there, if it was going to happen for Juach, it was as soon as he took possession rather than holding the ball up.
Yes. Well, he's got pace, certainly got pace. I just think maybe he's not warmed up yet.
Back pass here is going to invite the pressure on. Hurley. Farling, great touch in midfield. We haven't seen him spend a huge amount of time on the ball. He's largely been a set-piece specialist in the game, but he's really clever here. And now the cross is dealt with by Lethlean. Gee, they've had the answers in the air, Heidelberg. Weston load up again. And this time Burston's cross is headed away. Muir, dispossessed, shoved to the ground with authority. It's physical stuff here from Weston. And now through the left they go. So many yellow shirts packing the penalty area. So it's a reset here for the Western Bears. They go on the ground instead. Buswell spinning. What are his options though? He's in a 1-on-3. He's surrounded. And his only option is to send it back out of the penalty box. It's a long build-up here from the Western Bears though. Heidelberg, a rarity for them, pinned in their defensive half at home. Collins off the chest. Kamara wills himself onto the ball and then tried to pass it through a gap that didn't exist. Muir into the midfield for Yokokawa. Now breathing space for Bassetto. Max Bassetto. Wow, two hefty slide challenges coming in. Well played by the Western Bears. Well played by Dylan Burston. There is a foul, and it gives us the chance to go down to Archie Thompson. Archie, we're in for an exciting last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we certainly are, and Western Bears have certainly come into this game. I mean, their urgency with the ball, their willingness to try and win the ball back too, and they're creating a number of opportunities out in these wide areas to deliver. But Western, for Heidelberg, they're doing well to defend, but you know, if you keep allowing that pressure to keep coming into that box, it only just takes one little chance and it falls to a player for Western and they're a chance. But it just doesn't seem like Heidelberg, with the substitutions they've made, have had really that kind of impact. I mean, we've seen with Sabit and Nior, if you remember last year, a game against Central Coast Mariners, he absolutely lit it up and he got a contract from that. At the moment, just not seeing anything.
Thanks, Archie. Keeping a keen eye on things from ground level. Here is Sabit Nior. Is this his moment? Outside of the foot pass, can't quite set Buljuach away. And he's going to get there. He's going to make ground ahead of Iwasaki. How about the speed of Buljuach? He looked at such a disadvantage, and then all of a sudden, in a flash, he was on the ball. But his cross was cleared.
Jeez, he's quick.
Me of little faith. I didn't think he was going to get there, and he did. John Stasiadis watches on from the sidelines as Weston have possession. Blake Archbold. Farling. Iwasaki. Burston. Tried to go for the Hollywood cross and take out the entire Heidelberg defence. Now a more conservative pass. Farling. Hatfield. Farling has to sidestep, and you heard the solidity of the contact. It will be the first yellow card of the game, and it's Anthony Lesiotis that goes in the referee's book, and well, Weston think it should have been more.
Yeah, no, I think it's a yellow card, but there you go. Tempers will fray now. Heidelberg, they're holding on to a 1-0 lead. Weston are forcing the issue now at this point in the game, and yeah, we had to get our mate, the referee, Jock Quartermain, into the action.
So first booking comes in the last 10 minutes. Dylan Burston has run himself into the ground. Great shift from him. He takes his leave, and on comes Ryan Blackburn as his replacement, the number 27.
Dylan Burston has been excellent. He epitomised everything that Weston are. He's 100% in his tackles, in his passing, in his energy, and I reckon he'll have a good sleep tonight. He's put a lot of energy into this game.
Here's another look at how Farling was fouled. Lesiotis knocked his own shin guard out, it seems, in committing the tackle. So, here's the resulting free kick. Farling, straight onto a Heidelberg head. So many crosses have ended up going that way for the Western Bears tonight. First touch off the bench for Blackburn. And he's going to be made to go and retrieve the ball after having to dash back another 7 metres here. But Western do remain in possession. Can they get the goal that their toil has merited? It's good defending from Apostopoulos. And he's able to outpoint his marker. He can't clear comprehensively, though. Hurley's header has Weston back on the attack. Buswell a little bit deeper than the first half. On that pass, very much to the disadvantage of Archbold. He commits a foul and no booking to go with it, but he did seemingly stuff a counter-attack there as he knocked over Yokokawa.
We've talked about Heidelberg tonight, about the way they try and play football, but the way they've defended their box as well, and the profile of their team, the height profile, the amount of guys are well over 6 foot in this team, you know, and to still play this beautiful football that they're trying to play through the lines, they've got a little bit of everything, a bit of physicality, they can defend their box, and they've got pace up top.
Bit of a slip from the goalkeeper. It almost proved fatal. And it's out for a corner. Well, we could have had Buljuach in. We could have had an own goal for Chris Hurley. The end result's a corner.
Well, you can see why he scored 17 goals this season. He's got pace that makes a bad pass look good. He's miles off the pace here, and he still gets there. And Chris Hurley can sleep tonight. He won't have nightmares after that one. Hit his shin pad and nearly rolled in.
Well, that would have been heartbreak if that was how Weston conceded the second goal and bow out. The corner, though, remains its own threat. Buljuach waiting in the penalty area. It's Yokokawa to take the corner. Good defensive header by Iwasaki. It's not away just yet, though. Lesiotis breaks out to the right. Juach off the back of Hurley. Kamara. And Muir did enough legally next to Lesiotis to win the ball off Archbold. Switch out to the left. Yokokawa. Incisive into the middle. Max Bissetto. Keeps it moving left to right. Now over on the flank, an underlapping run. Bissetto. And intercepted. Hurley has just been wherever Western Bears have needed him. And he sends it to the line. We're into the last 5 minutes. Archie Thompson, down to you. Call it. Are we going to get an equaliser, or are Heidelberg going to hold on?
Well, I don't know. I think with Heidelberg at the moment, they're just winning back a little bit more possession. You can see that they've got the ball in the half that they want to have it in and not defending as much. I just wondered if maybe Weston, if they didn't take their opportunity when it was presented in a good period of 10-15 minutes, whether that's going to just bite them in the butt. But it's still, there's still a lot to be played for.
Thanks, Archie. Well, all they need is an attacking half set piece. A corner, a free kick, and they can send the house. Right now, though, they are trapped down in defence. And the clock is Heidelberg's friend. It's been a brisk second half. A giveaway here. This could be the knockout punch. Bissetto! Max Bissetto makes it 2 for Heidelberg United. They have weathered the storm from the Western Bears. And a 2-goal buffer has them sitting pretty.
Yeah, well, I suppose Weston, Archie just spoke about it there. They've had chances, they've had pressure in the game, but ultimately they haven't taken their chances. And this one, when they were lost possession cheaply on the breakaway, Juach played a lovely ball into the path of Bissetto. We see it here. Bad touch there, and Juach was quick onto it. Lovely way to pass, and Bissetto with a beautiful, very assured finish. And that's game, set, and match, unfortunately, for Western Bears.
Cruel on Farling. It was his giveaway in the end. And Bissetto, 4 goals in the league, 2 goals in the qualifying rounds of the Cup, and now 1 on the national stage. And barring a minor miracle, that should do it. Let's go back down to Archie Thompson. Archie, what was it like on the Heidelberg bench, and your thoughts on Heidelberg taking this 2-0 lead?
Well, it wasn't just Heidelberg coaching staff. It was pretty much the whole fans around Olympic Village. I mean, they just knew that how tense it was for large periods of this match. And like I said, it was probably going to come back and haunt them, Western Bears, when they didn't have that didn't take their chances in that good 10-15 minute period. But it was a well-worked goal from Heidelberg, clinical finish from Max Bisetto, and it certainly has eased a lot of fans here at Olympic Village.
Thank you, Archie, and enjoy post-game. Of course, they're a great host, Heidelberg United, on the A-League social media. There was a video of stadium guru Les Street, who was taking us for a tour of the club's kitchen area and enjoying the suva. And that's part of what the Australia Cup is all about, the experience, in addition to the football. And boy, I guess Weston, if they do leave tonight with a 2-0 defeat, they can be proud of what they've done. But I guess as far as what they're building towards, they're currently sitting third in NPL Northern New South Wales. Even if they were to win their 2 games in hand, we'll stay with play here. Yokokawa behind for a corner. Even if they do win their 2 games in hand, they'll still be third. So what takes them to the next step? Because they've been a pretty good match for one of the best NPL teams in the country tonight.
Absolutely. Look, I think for Western Bears, building on this, being more consistent, because bar the first 15 minutes of this game, they've been excellent. You know, they can go home with their heads held high, but Hugh Jalliance's team, they have a definite identity. They recycle the ball ever so well, and had they taken one of their chances in this game, could have been so different.
A third would be cruel, if not misleading on the score sheet. Headed away by Iwasaki. Dominic Archbold goes to ground. Heidelberg have the ball back. Markovic plays it out to Yokokawa. Yokokawa's cross. Bisetto was lurking. Farling is going to get to the ball. We're seconds away from finding out how many minutes of stoppage at the end of the night. It's been a game played in the right spirit. There's been not an injury to speak of, so you wouldn't think there'd be a huge chunk of time. Here's Hatfield going for a miracle, and he sends that over the bar as the 90 minutes ticks over. 4 additional minutes to end the night, so Western Bears would be on a wing and a prayer to find a way back into this game.
But Christopher Hatfield for Western Bears has led the line very well tonight. It's been a, it's not been a night where he's got lots of service, but his all-round play, holding the ball up, making unselfish runs, he's been excellent. He can hold his head high as well.
Heidelberg moving forward through Sabitnor, blocked off the boot. It's going to sit up for Bisetto. Brilliant save. Batted away by Roebuck. He clawed it, but not to safety. And now a stand-up tackle keeps it clear of Sabitnor. Well, that could have been a third.
What a save that was. Bisetto's eyes lit up. He's going to get a second goal of the game. And out of nowhere, Roebuck has put the big left paw, and he's kept it out. So, yeah, he's kept it he kept that 2-0, which is probably still an unfair result for Weston on the scoreboard. But what a save.
As the ball goes out for a Western throw. What about Heidelberg? I guess there would be almost every NPL team in the draw, and a lower league team in the draw they would be considered favourites against, even if they were to go interstate in the next round. If they get an A-League team, of course, it's a different story, welcoming them to Olympic Village. And the ties do come thick and fast, because the round of 16 takes place in the second weekend of August. So you don't have to wait too long, but they're competing on multiple fronts. They've got a cup final. They're top of the league. They also have to be mindful that the Australian Championship will extend another 8 or potentially 9 weeks beyond the end of the NPL season. So based on what you've seen of them tonight, what impression have they left you, and what would be your main takeaway to think about working on in the coming weeks?
So the positives, what I've been impressed with.
We'll just stay with this attack for a moment in case Weston do score. Hatfield, it's kept away from it. Archbold lifts it high into the box, and it's a catching practice for Yaron Sosa.
Yeah, as I was saying, in a positive note, Heidelberg, the way they set up, the way they try and play front foot football and pass the ball about, I should say, has been very impressive. I think maybe they underestimated Weston a little bit tonight with their lineup. Obviously, they shuffled the pack for a number of different reasons, but I think the pace of Juach would give anyone nightmares. So I think whether it's an A-League opposition next up or an NPL opposition, they need to start with their main man up top for me. That pace makes all the difference.
Well, he was in the A-League system at the MacArthur Academy, but he never quite made the breakthrough for senior A-League. He left the MacArthur Academy for Mount Druitt, and then he came down to Melbourne to play at Altona Magic, and this is his first season at Heidelberg United. So he's changed clubs once a season for the last 4 seasons, but he has found a home and he has found a location where he can be the top scorer. He's on track for 20 plus, which is no mean feat in the Victorian NPL. And I guess it's set sail for the round of 16 because we're in the last minute. Heidelberg are going to get it done, and I tell you, in years to come, the record books aren't going to half tell the story of just how competitive this game actually was.
Yeah, Weston, they gave a great account of themselves tonight, I must say, and they recycled the ball really well, they moved the ball really well, and you know, they've never ever quit. Even now at 2-0 down, they're still trying to get that elusive goal, so real credit due to them.
Yaron Souza wants a clean sheet, and Weston might leave empty-handed here unless they can use these last handful of seconds to fire a shot on goal. The whistle's in the mouth. It was hard fought, but Heidelberg United have advanced in the Hahn Australia Cup to the round of 16. And this club, who have been to the quarter-finals on 4 previous occasions, have advanced at the expense of Western Bears. And Northern New South Wales outfit comes to the Olympic Village and falls for the 2nd time in the Cup's history. But tonight, the Western Bears certainly left it all out on the pitch. They just couldn't get a goal to show for all their efforts. Full time at Olympic Village, Heidelberg United 2, Western Bears 0. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, it really is a fantastic time of the year. Good night. Thanks for joining us.